Hello guys, another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're reviewing chapter 648 of Bleach, Theatre Suicide number 2. Let me get that in the frame. Number 2. So, this is a continuation from the last chapter, the much needed hype, the much awaited chapter. We've been waiting for it for a very long time. It's been over 600-700. It feels longer, than a week, but I think I'd say it was introduced around about 500, about 100 chapters, so it's been about 550 chapters or so. You always wondered his Bankai was initiated last week. Shunsuke Raku Bankai was initiated by translation from a lot of the people that did. It effectively means a double suicide. It's got quite a long and elaborate name. So it was a case of being introduced to the skills or the abilities of such. But before we do that, we get introduced for the most. It kind of just pairs off Aizen's copy, I would call him, the other elite, versus Ichigo Kurosaki, and they kind of run into each other. And what is with these elites? They're always goofballs. There's always something going on with them. I mean, apart from Mr. Super Serious X-Axis, the rest are pretty goofballish, and they're all like that. So the guy that looks basically like Aizen with the humongous lips, yes, reintroduced. Apparently he's defeated Grimjaw off screen, which is never good, because what will tend to happen is there'll be a surprise ability. It's a good thing in a way that you get surprised, but the bad side is Ichigo's going to get some type of damage in this, more than likely, because to be reintroduced, I'm just referring to Grimjaw now, for Grimjaw to be reintroduced for the final war, and for him not to do anything that we could see on screen would indicate that there's more to come of him. So I'm hoping that maybe he got caught off guard. The skills and abilities of Aizen's look-alike with two big lips. Basically, his abilities are tricky. He's caught him off guard and put him to sleep, because he never admitted to defeating him. So I don't think he's a case of he's a physical person in the sense of punching and kicking and stuff like that. It'll be something else. It'll be some Quincy ability that he's been given by Juhabak, and that's what has caught him off guard. So they're about to engage, and then it gets dark. So I'd imagine it's kind of like at the same time as Kyuraku's initiated his Bankai. Now, the first kind of impression you get from everybody that's in the area, so that's Ichigo, that's Ganju, that's Chad, that's Orihime, all these people are pretty much saying the same thing. They're getting the yeeps, the creeps, and the chills from being in the environment, just feeling his Ryatsu. So you get some people that feel the force, and they're getting pushed back by the force, kind of like how the humans were when Aizen was transformed with the Hogakyu, right? This is a different kind of feeling. It's a darker feeling. It's giving people the chills, the shivers up the spine, so to speak. So that's the initial impression that people are getting. So it is a dangerous Bankai, so the hype is real with this Bankai. And then it goes back to Kyuraku and Mr. X-Axis, who's changed to Jilail mode, which I'll talk about in a few seconds anyway. So he basically goes through the different stages of the ability of Bankai. So obviously the natural response of Jilail is this your Bankai, mate? And the chilled out dude that Kyuraku is pretty much. So the first thing that the opponent does is he attacks. He basically says, look, okay, it might be a bit creepy, but I'm not scared, I'm a messenger of God. Starts doing his attacks, and he goes with the assumption that if you kill the wielder of the Zanpakuto Bankai, you basically end the Bankai and you win. However, the first level 1, is whatever injuries you receive, your opponent receives. So every attack he's just done now to damage Kyuraku has just been sent back to him, and he's got the exact same damage. So the Bankai is a tricky one. Like, his Shikai's a load of games. It's all about your brain, how you get around it, staying sharp. Same kind of thing with this one. It's a mental challenge to overcome. So it's not something, although it physically impairs you, it's a mental challenge. So it's one of those, like the saying goes, keep your wits about you. That's what you're gonna need to fight someone with that type of Bankai. So they have no idea what the Bankai is about up until he's released it now, which is what he says. He goes, oh, we didn't know anything about you, but what I do know is if we damage you and kill you, we win. Now you get the damage back. So level 1 is you get the damage back. Then he takes you up another level. He goes, level 2 is an incurable disease, and he gets all these spots around. It's like a plague, or something that's uncurable basically, and it looks really bad. And then he takes you up to another level, and then level 3 comes out, and it's basically submerged in water, and it's a case of whoever reacts will last as long wins. That's why it's the double suicide, because if Kiraku dies, his Ryatsu's finished, he survives, but he might be so damaged he might die anyway, or he might be dying and he might just go with him. So there's the idea of double suicide. Now don't get me wrong, nobody, as far as I know, nobody, from the impression I got of Kiraku from the beginning of the series, one of my favourite characters, I would not want him to die. However, there is potentially a way for him to survive. So going back a few chapters, I think it was not last chapter, the chapter before, one of the last 2 chapters, there was a statement made by Jilail, or X-Axis, whichever way you want to refer to him as, he's got that many names. He basically said that he has an ability that whenever he's like in a life or death situation, he can open his eye and he's basically impenetrable to damage. He just doesn't get damage, he's see-through, and nothing hurts him. But once he's done it 3 times, he transformed into this Jilail ability, right? What he actually said was, this is the first time in one fight that I've had to open my eyes 3 times. The first time. So the thing is with this, if his ability is based on energy and reishi and everything like that, it could be a case that because he's not used to that ability, although it's overpowering and it's amazing and it's got so much bite behind it, the fact that it's the first time he's used it basically could mean that he could run out quicker. It's just a thought. Of course, there's the whole idea that the area is built by reishi and people can absorb reishi in the Soul Society, and that might go against him. But then there's a flip side to that, which is when Juhabak came the second time, he made everything into Quincy territory, based on the Hukumendo type of setting. So has that affect the maximum amount of reishi that he's got? Because otherwise, in my opinion, if they've got unlimited reishi, none of them would have been defeated so far, regardless of how powerful they are. So if it's a situation where his reishi is limited, being that they're submerged underwater and he's caught in his Bankai, and being that it's his first transformation like that, because he said that it's the first time I've had to do this 3 times, could it be that because of that he runs out of reishi first? Or it doesn't even matter about reishi, because it's more about how your mental thought is. He can't cut Kiraku now because he'll hurt himself. That's where the double suicide part comes into it as well. Now he's got an incurable disease that's affecting him, and he's submerged underwater, so he's got to keep his wits. What if he can't keep his wits and he just dies anyway? Or he really reenacts and kind of goes with the title of the story for this Bankai, theatre suicide, double suicide, and basically kills and blows himself up or something like that. It's very hard to tell right now. All I can say is this Bankai is scary as fuck. I wouldn't want to be the person that's on the other side of it. It's going to be amazing which way it goes. So we know that it's all about your wits. It's all about how he's going to get out of this. Let's see how he overcomes. Is it going to be something that is an overcome and we're going to have another whole captain, someone like Captain Command has to get replaced, we have to get a new captain, etc, etc, etc. I hope not. It's the final war. I wouldn't want Tito Kubo to do the commander like that, but you never know. He might just go pull out all the stops, go all in, people die, people survive, and we go from there. So it's early days, exciting stuff. I'm going to give it a 7 or 8 out of 10, purely because I'm not fond of the goofy elites. As much as I like a bit of fun and jokes and it lightens the mood, I want to see some action. I want to see what happened to in the fights and stuff like that. I don't want it to be, oh, I'm prancing around, my name is this, or at your service, blah 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 blah. I want to see action, I want to see fights. You can do jokes later, and the banter's always good in Bleach anyway, but this moment in time is the final, the 1,000-year blood war, the finale. We want to see action, we want to see what happens next. So let's keep it physical, let's keep it action packed, and let's see another good chapter. Take it easy, guys.